Well, hello there, my friends. I am here today to talk about something that might sound a little counterintuitive at first. And that is that I believe now is the perfect time to start landing more donor meetings, even though you don't have face-to-face meetings available to you. So I'm making you this quick video today to talk about exactly how to do that. So if we haven't met yet, my name is Emma Luzzi. I help organizations like yours raise more 5, 6, and 7-figure donations for your amazing mission. So I'm hearing from frontline fundraisers that donors are actually easier than ever to reach right now. And it makes sense because donors are not on their usual travel schedules, they're at home more often, they're picking up the phone, and they're probably more willing to have a conversation with you about a cause that they're passionate about. So it only makes sense that now is the time to start working to land more of those elusive donor meetings. My first tip for you in doing that is I think you need to be sure that you make it really easy for the donor to say yes to your request. So, I think face-to-face meetings, I know they're the gold standard in terms of working with major donors, and they are incredible. They have a great impact. It gives the opportunity to get face to face and really connect with your donors. But let's face it, it's actually a pretty big commitment for a donor to make. It's a high bar. So the silver lining I think we have here when we don't have face-to-face meetings available to us, it makes it actually a lot easier to offer up something like a virtual coffee or a 20-minute phone call. It just makes sense to book a donor to do something like this right now. And I think it's an easier yes for that donor. So making it easy for the donor is really important. The way you can also do this is just offer up, for example, some blocks of time you might be available. I'm not a big fan of that approach of saying, I'm free next Tuesday at 11, let me know if that works. I really prefer to offer the donor a bit more flexibility, a bit more choice. So perhaps you might offer a window and say, I've got some good flexibility next Tuesday afternoon or next Thursday afternoon. Let me know what works. So thinking about booking a virtual coffee, thinking about booking a quick phone call. I love this. It's a great way to stay connected to your donor, keep that meaningful conversation going. And it's an easier yes than a face-to-face meeting. My bonus tip for you here is actually around email length. I don't know if you've heard this before, but HubSpot did a great study, and they actually discovered that there is an optimal length of emails that you can use to get a response. So if your email is between 50 and 120 words, you are far more likely to get a response from your donor than if you go a lot longer, as can be our tendency sometimes. So keep it brief. Put that to the test. See if you can keep your emails under 120 words and see if that boosts your response rate a little bit. So my second big tip for you in landing that elusive donor meeting is to make it all about the donor. This is a big mistake that I see a lot of organizations make. They make it about the organization. So they go to a donor wanting to book a meeting so they can update them on their amazing program progress and talk about the impact of their gift. Don't get me wrong, this is important, but you want to make sure you're framing it and coming at it appropriately so you're not just turning that donor into a passive receptacle for information. You really want them to be an active participant in these conversations with you. So this is why it's a perfect time to put that old adage into action. You've heard this before, I'm sure. If you want money, ask for advice. If you want advice, ask for money. And that continues to work. I think where people sometimes get this wrong is that they think that this has to be a really big thing, but you can ask your donors for the opportunity to run an idea by them. You can ask for their impressions on something. You can make this a really easy ask for the donor, and you don't have to make it complicated. It certainly can be about seeking feedback on a bigger piece like a strategic plan, or finding out how they feel and how they respond, what their impressions are about your case for support. But it doesn't have to be a really huge commitment. In fact, I was thinking now's a really great time. This is a question any organization can ask. We're all in the middle of coronavirus. The world has changed. Our landscape has changed. I'm really curious, and I'm sure you are too. What do your donors think about this? What do they think, given this new landscape, your focus should be, your priorities should be as an organization? This is a great conversation starter and a great way to get your donor engaged meaningfully in your work, and a great topic for a meeting, for a call, for a virtual coffee. So that's my tip number 2. My third tip for you is to be persistent. You know, I think most fundraisers give up far too soon when it comes to trying to land a meeting with a donor. And I'll borrow a statistic from sales because, my friend, all of us in sales are in sales, whether we're in fundraising or not. And that is that most people tend to give up after 3 to 4 tries at reaching a donor, 3 to 4 tries at landing that meeting. But the reality is it can take 8 to 10 touch points to actually hear back from or qualify a lead or a donor. So most fundraisers are simply giving up way too soon. And I'm wondering if that's you too. So make sure you stay persistent in trying to land that meeting. Be courteous, of course, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with being persistent when you're trying to reach a donor. Keep mixing up those touch points, use different channels. You again have all sorts of great opportunities available to you right now, including making personalized videos for your donors. You can send emails, you can send letters. I've noticed that mailboxes are so empty right now. So mix those channels up and use all of those different opportunities to reach out to your donor to land those meetings, because now is a perfect time to do that. All right, that's all from me today. I'm actually going to be back tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard, and I'm going to talk about what you should actually do in those meetings once you land a meeting, and how to run a really effective, impactful virtual donor meeting. So join me back here today at 1 p.m. EST tomorrow. I'd love to see you there. In the meantime, please leave me a comment or a question below. I would love to hear from you. All right. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will look forward to seeing you tomorrow.